For every accounting standard based question, the best way to present your answer is generally a 3-step framework, because a lot of times you will be tested on the principle of the accounting standard. So whenever you are tested on the principle of the accounting standard, what you should do is, don't start your answer saying yes it is in accordance with accounting standard, no it is not in accordance with accounting standard. No, I don't think examiner will like that. So what examiner is expecting from you first of all is the relevant context to that accounting standard, what is given in the standard. So you should first write what are the technical aspects of the accounting standard which are tested in the question. So you may indicate in so and so accounting standard, point 1 says so, 2 says so, 3 says so, like that, all the relevant points. Again, don't try to do too much of context setting. So you don't have to give the entire introduction to accounting standard, background to the accounting standard. No, that is not expected by the examiner. So you have to go straight to that particular point. So if the question is about, say, there is a subsequent event and that subsequent event is adjusting in nature, for example, straight go to that point in the accounting standard, saying okay, so subsequent events, which basically events which occur after balance sheet date, which provide additional evidence to circumstances existing on balance sheet date, need so and so treatment. Or maybe it is because of going concern adjustment, it is becoming an adjusting event. So again, go straight to that going concern point and write that particular thing, because a lot of times what students do is we just try spending a lot of time on context setting. We don't get any marks for that broad level context setting that we do. Maybe in some other exams you will get, but definitely not in our CA exams. So go straight to that particular point and write whatever concept accounting standard talks about with respect to that. One other point regarding context setting, there is always this $1 million question in the minds of student. Should we write paragraph numbers? Optional. It is not compulsory. You don't get extra marks because you write paragraph numbers, and you will not lose marks because you are not writing paragraph numbers. And you know what? In the practice manual, when you see the paragraph numbers, that is when you will get this thought, oh, maybe even I should write paragraph numbers. If you remember, you write. If you don't remember, don't bother about it. Accounting standard reference. Well, I would strongly encourage you to give the accounting standard reference. A few accounting standards we have, at least remember those numbers. So what is AS4, what is AS5, and so on. So you give the correct accounting standard reference. Then in the accounting standard, you will have to give the heading of the standard or the title of the standard. So if you are giving the title of the standard in inverted commas, under quotes if you are giving, you will have to give the exact text of that particular title, or exact title, whatever is there, the same thing should appear. Just imagine, for any reason in the examination, you are not able to remember the exact heading. So you are not sure whether it is contingencies and events occurring after balance sheet date, or whether it is given as events occurring after balance sheet. You have some small doubt regarding that. You know what? I would suggest you don't give that particular title in quotes. You just write as per accounting standard 4 on events occurring after balance sheet date. Now at least you are trying to be safe, where you are not saying this is the title, you are just saying this is an accounting standard on so and so topic. Similarly, if you are solving AS 11 questions, see, ideally you should remember the title here. So it's a very simple thing, number and title, that much you should definitely remember. But I am talking about like a worst case scenario. You have prepared, but unfortunately it suddenly slips out of our head. What should we do? Just indicate. So as per accounting standard 11 on accounting treatment for foreign exchange fluctuations. Now maybe that is not the exact heading, but you are at least indicating the broad context as to what standard you are basically referring to. So these are some careful things what we can do when we are solving our problems. Then after giving this, you will move to the next aspect. What is the next aspect? It is the analysis. Now in analysis, basically we will talk about maybe some gist of the given case, and how do you interpret this case in the light of the relevant accounting standard portion what we discussed. So you will basically indicate, so this is what is given in the question, so this is basically in the light of accounting standard. If this is done, it is a compliance. If this is not done, it is a non-compliance. So you will basically analyze, or it might be something like this. If this is the case, it is as per accounting standard. If this is not the case, this is not as per accounting standard. So for example, if it is a question on AS4, then you might say, okay, so if it is an event which provides additional evidence, then it is going into adjusting items. If it is not, Then if it is something which is affecting going concern, then again it is adjusting. If it is not affecting going concern but material, it is a disclosure event. So like this you might indicate broadly how you will analyze the case. So here you may say, in the given case, if this is what is happening, this is the treatment. In the given case, if this is what is happening, this is the treatment. So you can indicate alternative scenarios. One point I would again kind of caution you. Sometimes in study material or practice manual problems, you may see that examiner makes an assumption that, oh, I think it doesn't affect going concern or it affects going concern. Examiner may make an assumption when based on the information given 2 scenarios are possible. Examiner may just take one of those 2 scenarios and solve the problem. But till we see the practice manual or till we see the suggested answers, we do not know what assumption examiner has made. So whenever alternative assumptions are possible, my sincere suggestion to you, when alternative assumptions are possible, indicate both those alternatives and give the treatment. In this case, what should the treatment be? In this case, what should the treatment be? So whenever alternative assumptions are possible, indicate alternative treatments. That is a good practice. When we are writing analysis, can we give something like a pictographical representation or a diagrammatic, something like a tree diagram? Something like, in this case, maybe like a tree diagram, this is a treatment. In this case, this is a treatment. Can we give our answers in this kind of a manner? As long as your answers are self-explanatory, examiner will be very happy with your answers. Don't worry about it. So what you should make sure is your answers should be self-explanatory. So as long as they are self-explanatory, examiner is able to appreciate the merit of what you have written, you will get those marks. And if you just give some diagrams which only you understand, don't expect the examiner to award marks to you. Now come to the last aspect, which is conclusion. Friends, in this conclusion, you will have to, when you come to this point in conclusion, you will have to go back to the question, read what is specifically asked. So if the question asks you, comment on the treatment followed by the company in the light of accounting standard. So then your conclusion should be, well, the treatment followed by company so and so is in accordance with accounting standard, or it is not in accordance with accounting standard. So that is a logical conclusion. Or sometimes the question will be like this: comment on the suggestion made by the managing director of the company. So the question will be framed in such a way that managing director wants to do so and so, or the CFO of the company wants to do so and you will be asked to comment on that. So then your conclusion should be in such manner where you say that if this is the accounting treatment whatever the company has done, it is the CFO suggestion is as per accounting standards treatment, or you may say the suggestion of CFO or the treatment suggested by CFO is not in accordance with accounting standard. Sometimes it will so happen, if this is what is done, it is in accordance with accounting standard. If this is not done, then the suggestion of CFO is not in accordance with accounting standard. So basically friends, I want you to, at this stage of conclusion, go back to the question, exactly see what is asked in the question, and just that last sentence you have to write properly, because you know what, that last sentence will have a mark. That conclusion will have a mark. And if you don't conclude your answers properly, you will straight away lose out on that mark. And you know what, in that 4 or 5 marks accounting standard question, the easiest mark to score is conclusion, because for the rest of it you will have to write a lot of story, but conclusion is just 1 line, 2 lines. So you have to have that patience and attention to conclude your answers properly. That is important. So these are some points what I want you to bear in mind when you are looking at these accounting standard questions. These points broadly apply to all the questions in accounting standards. Sometimes it may so happen that it is directly a problem based thing where something like say you straight have to go into a problem. Then what you might have to do is, wherever you are applying the accounting standard concepts in that problem, you indicate those relevant concepts. When we come to such problems, I'll talk about that in detail.